My hand. Got to plug in my microphone. There we go. Thank you. Hello, hello, hello. Just waiting a couple minutes to see if a few people jump on here. Let's see, we have one viewer. Hello, how are you? I don't know how to see who is in the room unless they, in the room and join the live, unless they make a comment. I don't know if there's another way. Oh, the person left. Okay. Let's see. I don't want to press anything. Still new to this, guys. New to this live stuff. FB Live. I'm very hot. Blow out some of these candles. It's bringing me heat. Oh. 7:07. I think it's now probably 7:08. But I'm going to go ahead and get started with this live. And when people join in, they join in. Greetings. Welcome to episode 2 of season 1 of My Trauma Healed Life. And this episode is entitled The End of Self-Betrayal, Part 2. Hope everybody can hear me okay. Got my mic set up in a weird spot. And I'll try my best not to bump it. I hope everyone is doing well on this evening or this morning or this afternoon, wherever you are and may be watching. Wherever you are in the world and you may be watching, I hope that you are doing well. I hope that you are loving on yourself, loving yourself, caring for yourself, making sure that you fulfill your needs, your innermost needs. If you're someplace where it's cold outside, I hope that you have something to keep you warm. If you are someplace where it's hot, hope it's not too hot for you, and you got something to keep you cool, maybe an ocean or maybe the AC. Whatever it is and wherever you are, I just hope that you're doing well. Me, how am I doing? I'm doing well. I'm Tracy Nicole. I am an intuitive life purpose coach, a quantum energy alchemist, a medium, and a very, very, very passionate advocate for victims and survivors and thrivers of abuse trauma. That includes childhood abuse, interpersonal relationship abuse, military sexual trauma. Childhood abuse, including interpersonal relationship abuse. Those abuses could be physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, any of those types of abuses. Narcissistic abuse, neglect. I'm a passionate advocate for survivors of those abuses. Why? Because I am a survivor of all of those. That's right. I'm a survivor. And I am actually now thriving. Yes. It is possible to go from victim to survivor, and then from survivor to thriver. I got on my new edition shirt today, y'all, because after last night's live, baby, I am a new edition. I am not the same woman that I was yesterday. I'm new, I'm improved, I'm elevated, I'm vibing high, and I'm feeling good. How that song go? It's a new day, it's a new dawn, and I'm feeling good. And yes, I know I can't really sing. Well, actually, I always said I can sing because I can sing. I just may not necessarily sound good. But it's a new day, it's a new dawn, and I'm feeling good. Why? Because yesterday, last night, around this same time, I spoke my truth. I began to speak my truth publicly. There was a lot of support last night, and I am so appreciative. I jumped on last night to live, somewhat impromptu. I say somewhat. Hello. Thank y'all for joining. Oh, thank you, dear. Thank you. Thank you guys for joining. But I jumped on last night somewhat impromptu. And I say that because for many years, my voice has been stifled. And I have been trying to speak and be heard. At some point, I realized I was talking to the wrong people. I was talking to the abusers, wanting the abusers to hear me. Hey, sisters. But I wanted the abusers to hear me. I was talking to the wrong people. I needed to be talking to the people who could relate. Not understand, but relate. And you can only relate when you've actually experienced those similar, same type of things. So, what was I going to do? Go around asking people, hey, have you experienced this abuse? Have you experienced that abuse? Because I want to talk about it. I want to share the truth. Let's talk. Let's figure some things out and help each other heal. No, I can't do that. And with the situation that spurred me and prompted me and pressured me to finally speak my truth live, and not live on my YouTube page that nobody knows yet, but live on my own personal page, where some of my abusers actually are my followers. I think I would probably call them fans at this point, because if I had done the things to them that they did to me, I wouldn't even be wanting to follow them. I wouldn't be wanting to look at them. But, that's me. So last night, well, let me go over a couple of things real quick. I want to again reiterate my intentions for my Trauma Healed Life podcast. My intention is to speak the truth, my truth, of my experiences and my healing journey. And also offer a safe space for those that relate to also participate in sharing, hearing, healing. And I want to set that tone, because while I definitely received a lot of support, there was a particular comment that I saw today as I was going and responding to the comments today from last night's live. And it was a comment that definitely could cause me to react, but I chose to respond. I'm choosing to respond. Because one, I know that comment came from someone who was also been gaslit by said stepmom that I spoke about yesterday. And that's okay. This is a public forum and people can do what they want to do, but this is also my page, my live, my podcast. And I want a safe space, which means no messiness. No messiness. There was a comment made that I feel was intended to throw shade and try to test me to see what kind of information I knew. And I know everything that I need to know in order to speak my truth. Please don't come on here and cause mess. If you do, I will block you, I will delete your comment, and I will move on. If you're here, be supportive. Don't be messy. If you have a question, ask a question, because I'm open. I'm transparent. I've worked long and hard to get to this place of transparency. I will address the comment later in detail because there are some things that I do want to speak about that, but I wanted to address that right up front. This is a safe space. And if you're coming in messy and you know you're coming in messy, don't do it. Just please don't do it. Don't try me. People think that when you heal that you're supposed to be, no. There's a balance. And there is a such thing as righteous anger. I always tell people, I don't come for nobody. I don't come for nobody. I'm a victor of the people. That's what my middle name means, Nicole. Victor of the people. I'm not a fighter of the people. So I'm not ever going to come for anyone. But if you send for me, if you come for me and I did not send for you, you will get what you came for. And I guarantee you it's not going to be what you expected. Moving on to today's part 2, which is the end of self-betrayal. I want to address or discuss emotional abuse. I have some notes here, so if you see me looking off to the side, it's because I have some notes. But emotional abuse is something that is not visible. And it also does not necessarily come with a warning. In a relationship, and really is any type of relationship, it could be parental, it could be friends, it could be an intimate relationship with your partner, your spouse, whatever. The emotional abuse is when the person leads you to believe that they feel a certain way about you, when in fact they feel a different way. That's one part of emotional abuse. And that's the discussion that I want to pinpoint today. Yesterday, excuse me one moment. I forgot to put this on Do Not Disturb and stuff is coming through. Oh, come on. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Told y'all I'm still new to this. So yesterday, on yesterday's live, I discussed the situation in which I had realized that my stepmother had been emotionally abusive towards me, which some of people also refer to that as psychological abuse. I personally feel like they're very related and connected, but I feel like there's a little bit difference there. Some people can play with your head and make you think you're crazy. Some people play with your heart. My heart was played with. See, I grew up with my biological mother and her husband performing every type of abuse there is to me. And the only thing that I ever wanted in life was to have a relationship with my mother. I was her firstborn child. And as I spoke yesterday, at the age of 27, my mother let me know that she had not wanted a baby when she had me, even though I was a planned baby. My mother obviously took good care of me in her womb. I came out fairly healthy. I think I was jaundiced at birth, and I had to spend, I think my dad told me I spent like a week or so in the incubator. Okay, that's what he called it. I think that's what it's called. You know, little thing with the lights warming you up. Or these might have been blue lights because I was jaundiced. But anyway, it's been about a week. So my mother took care of me very well in the womb. However, there was a betrayal there that started at conception. While she took good care of me in the womb, because she had to take care of herself, she was in nursing school. But then once I was born. I don't remember the first 2 years of my life. I don't remember the first, well, I started having some memories around 3 years old. I can remember back to some things when I was 3. But I don't remember the first 2 years of my life. But from some of the pictures that I've seen during those first 2 years, which has only been like 2 or 3 pictures, seemed like my mother was very happy. Seemed like I was a happy baby. I was smiling, things of that nature. Things took a turn after my mother and my father divorced. My mother blamed my father and one particular affair. She blamed my father and that particular woman. Because of that, my mother began to abuse me and mistreat me and take out her anger and her disappointments and frustrations and all of her feelings as it related to my father and all of that. She began to take that out on me. She betrayed me. She betrayed my trust in the one person that we expect to take care of us as children. The one person that I was connected to for almost 9 to 10 months, there was betrayal. This led to a lifetime of me seeking connection, deep connection. I really wasn't a surface person. I loved hard from a little kid. As time went on, and I'm skipping a lot of things because I have so many experiences to talk about. I got a whole nother lifetime of things to talk about. I think I probably got about 15 seasons. But anyway, hey guys, I see some people have joined in. Y'all can say some stuff, talk to me. So anyway, I have so many stories, so I'm skipping a lot of things, right? To hone in on the one particular story that I'm expressing now. As years went on, like I said, I continued to seek connections and seek love, seek care, seek for people to fulfill my needs, without really knowing that's what I was doing for a very long time. And I mean a very long time. And because of that, hi Nate. And because I sought that for so long, and I sought it specifically, really, I still was seeking it from my mother. I had opportunities in my life where other women came into my life. They came in as mother roles. Some of those relationships, I believe, were trauma bonding. Probably with some of those women that also had some mother wounds themselves. But lo and behold, in 2010, along came a woman that I began to know and call mom. Hey, Mama Lil. Hi. So along came a woman that I began to call mom. We developed what I thought was such a great and wonderful relationship. It was amazing to me. I had someone that, called me daughter, checked on me, Called me like on her own, answered my phone calls when I called her. We texted, we spent time together. And it was last year that I realized that it was pretty much all a mask. I'm not saying that she didn't love me. And I'm not saying that she didn't have care, because the things that she did and some of the things that I went through and experienced, that she was there for me. I doubt you could really be there for a person if you didn't care for them in some type of way. There came a point in time where things started to change in the relationship, and it was within the last 2 years. And I couldn't understand what had occurred to start making my stepmom treat me in the nice, nasty way that I'd seen her treat other people. That was my bad for not thinking that I could be treated in that way as well. Please believe people when they show you who they are. Please believe people when they tell you who they are, because she actually told me she was nice, nasty. But I'm not going to say she didn't love me, because people love you. We all love at the capacity that we have. It's just wherever we are in our life, in our journey. It was one little thing, and it wasn't that little, but it was one little thing that finally I realized I was able to trace back to when an issue began. And it began because a few years ago, I addressed the fact that my dad and my stepmom had been married for almost 10 years, and we had not spent one Christmas together. And I have children, and I have grandchildren, which means my dad has grandchildren and great-grandchildren. And we used to spend Christmas together before he was married. When they got married, within that first year, I believe, maybe even the first few months of me and stepmom talking, she said to me, she said, well, you know, because she has 2 daughters. They're a few years older than me, and she has 1 granddaughter. She told me that she had made a promise to herself that she was going to spend every single Christmas with her granddaughter through her granddaughter's 18th birthday. And said granddaughter turned 18 recently, and that promise she definitely kept. With the exception of when we were on quarantine. Yeah. But as we were coming out of quarantine, I was like, hey, we were supposed to be alternating years as we discussed. So why are we not alternating? And then it came, oh, didn't we come and spend Christmas with you last year? Really? I mean, I know we all a little forgetful, but not that forgetful. No. And here I am playing nice. No. What do you mean? No, you didn't come for Christmas. You came on New Year's. That's around Christmas. That's not on Christmas. Christmas is on December 25th. Yeah. New Year's is the next year. But when I look back that was the moment that things started to change, because that was the moment that I addressed the lie, the manipulation, the unfairness. I didn't know it then, but I have figured that out now. As I was beginning to continue to heal things in my life, because, like I said on last night's live, which if you don't really know what I'm talking about, you may have to go back and check that live from last night, because I don't want to repeat everything. This is a continual. But I have been on a very, very fast-tracked personal self-healing journey, transformation for the last 2.5 years, almost 3 years. This fall will make 3 years. And I was coming to realize a lot of the ways in which I wanted to elevate my personal relationships, my interpersonal relationships. I got married in 2019, and I'm gonna bring it back, but I got married in 2019, and my divorce was finalized last year of 2022. I separated from my husband about 1.5 years after we married. In 2021, June 19th to be exact, I experienced a situation in which I was attacked by him. And during that attack, he said something to me that made me realize that he had been doing this, and knowing what he had been doing the entire time. And it was like I suddenly became awakened to all of the psychological abuse that I had been under. I was devastated. I was distraught. He had fooled me, tricked me. I thought we were like ending this amicably. But on the day that I was leaving, after we had signed the divorce papers, which, just for anybody watching this and hearing this, let me throw this in here right now. If you are in an abusive relationship, please seek help on how to depart if you are trying to depart. Because what I found out was that the most dangerous time in an interpersonal, domestic relationship, marriage, partner, whatever, like it's when the victim tries to leave or leaves. And that's exactly what happened. But moving forward, because this live is not about that story. But I was very distraught. And I remember parking at a gas station because I was so distraught I couldn't even drive. I was shaking. I was a mess. And I called my dad and stepmom. And I realized that I hadn't been telling them any of the things that had been going on. I hadn't shared any of the abuse You know, it was a brand new marriage. I had a lot of things going on. My son had been injured, you know, life-changing injury. It was a lot of things going on. One of my sons, okay? A lot of things going on. And I just chose not to say anything. I'll never do that again. Lo and behold, once I had an opportunity to calm down and get with my parents, and where I thought I was safe, I find out that for some time, my stepmother had been communicating with my abusive husband behind my back. When I addressed it and asked about it, asked stepmom, she made very light of it, but I knew immediately that there was something more. Stuttering over words, telling me it's not what I think, so forth and so on. Well, then why can't you share with me what you guys have been talking about? I'm your daughter. So you say, right? I've been your daughter for the last, how many years? 9, 10, however many years at that time? Yeah. Because of that, it caused me to take a step back and really view the relationship that I had been having with my dad and my stepmom. And I realized that I was doing more of the talking and communicating with my stepmother than I was with my father. So I couldn't understand how, if we're talking so much, we're communicating so much, that you never said anything to me that he called about this, he called about that, whatever. But the thing is she actually sided with him, which is why she didn't let me know. At that time, I also realized that she was trying to come between my father and I. And I don't really think it was because she just didn't want us to be involved. I think it was just she wanted what she wanted, and which was my dad, and she wanted him all to herself, as though she was the first wife and the only wife. So he always went with her to her daughter's home for Christmas. It was just last year, first time since 2009, that my dad had spent a Christmas with me, his grandchildren, and his great-grandchildren. And mom chose not to come, even though she was invited, of course. At that time, yeah. Or was this? Yeah, she actually was invited. So, this is a situation that is so complex, which most times emotional abuse, especially when it's mixed with some narcissism, becomes very difficult to understand. And you have to trace the steps back. You have to trace the activity. You have to trace back the things that were said. And you have to look at them from another view, from another perspective. You have to detach yourself so you can see clearly. And you have to trust your intuition. Yesterday live, a comment was made by someone that knows my family and actually knows a version of this situation. They only know the version in which my mother, my stepmom, told. And this person put a comment, said sending hugs, and said she was not the only one. I know what they were relating to, what they were referring to. They tried to say that mom was not the only person that my father had an affair with when he was married to my mother. Maybe so, maybe not. That's not the topic of this discussion. But what I will tell you is that stepmom is the one that I know because she told me that she had an affair with my dad when he was married to my mother. And that for almost 30 years, at various times throughout the 30 years, she would check up on him to see what he was doing. Not actually speaking to him, but checking up on him. Seeing what's going on, seeing where he is in his life. Is he married now? Is he still married to this person? What is he doing? She waited until she felt that it was a good time to come in and swoop in. And swoop in she did. So it doesn't matter to me about any affairs except this one. Because this one is attached to the core wound that I've been healing. And that core wound is self-betrayal. Self-betrayal, as described in an article that I found from Psychology Today, there's just one little line that got me. It says, living from a deficiency of needs or self-betrayal results in overcompensating in the material base level needs, and it spurs additional bad habits and addictions. I became addicted to finding a mother. And I betrayed myself at the moment that stepmother told me who she was in my life and the connection that she had to me all the way back when I was an infant. As I stated in yesterday's live, my biological mother is responsible for her own actions of abuse that she enacted upon me. But there are other people that are accountable because they played a part in that. I'm speaking on this. And I'm sharing my truth live on my own personal Facebook page where I know my family, friends, people, where I know they're watching. I know they have the ability to see it. I'm not hiding. I'm not going to be pushed into a corner. I'm not going to be manipulated by people trying to gaslight me. I'm not going to be manipulated with people trying to pull out different parts of the story and say, oh, but this happened, to throw off the scent of the actual perpetrator. I'm not doing that. And I'm not saying anything that I wouldn't say to the people in their face. And to be honest, I've already said it. I've already said it. I've already said these things. But I'm speaking out because, as usual, people who have been emotionally abused and try to speak their truth, or any type of abuse really, and try to speak their truth I'm not going to say per usual, because I would really like for this to change. That's why I'm advocating. It has been common for those of us that speak out to be smear campaigned, which is the perpetrator going off, running, telling people, oh, they're lying. This is not what happened. It was like this. Oh, I didn't do anything. And they rush and try to get ahead of the victim saying anything so they can already put their spin on the story. Oh, and they can be very, very believable. They're very dramatic. They should all get Oscars. I will not be stifled. My voice will not. It will not be subdued. It will not be manipulated. I will speak. Now, getting back to the self-betrayal, which was somewhere around 2013 as it related to stepmom. By then, she had been married to my dad for 3 years. When she met me, I'm saying met, because she knew about me from when I was a baby. But when she met me as an adult, when she got married to my dad, I was in a very, very, very bad position in my life. I mean, I was suicidal, to be exact. And that was a very, very, very fertile breeding ground for her to come in and give me what she thought I wanted, so that she could have what she wanted and keep what she wanted. I mean, I'm my dad's only daughter. I'm his only child, period. So no matter how young or old, and even as an adult, I still come with him. You understand what I'm saying? That was a fertile ground. And baby, when I tell you she came in, she came in. She was there for me. And I don't despise that. I don't regret that. It is what it is, and it was what it was. But from a place of breaking down emotional abuse and displaying it, not displaying it, but just trying to explain it. in a way that is relatable and can be really, really seen. Because again, emotional abuse is not seen. It's felt. So for 3 years, we developed a relationship, a very, very close one. And or was it even 3 years? It might have been 2. Either way, it wasn't before they got married, and it certainly wasn't very shortly after. Meaning like days after. Anyway, we developed this relationship so that when we got together one time, we were going to a store, and we got in a car and we go and park, and before we get out to go into the store, she had already determined that she was going to share with me what she knew I didn't already know. She asked my father, because she told me, she asked my father, "Did you tell Tracy about our history?" Said no, because he hadn't told me. She decided to tell me. Once again, that was during another distressful place in my life. She explained to me how she worked at the hospital where my mother worked. She explained to me how she would see my mother crying in the elevator, and she felt so bad because she knew why my mother was crying. She joked a little bit about how my dad would accidentally call my mother, his wife at the time, by her name. And it was done in a way, and when she said that, it was said in a way that was to try to like really, make my dad look really bad. As I sat in the car and I listened, everything inside of me felt disgusted. I could feel the manipulation. I could feel the narcissism, but I didn't even know that word then. I didn't even know that word. I didn't know what it meant. I couldn't even put a feeling, a term to the feeling that I had. But I know I didn't feel right. I didn't feel good. Something felt off. But she chose to tell me at a time when she knew specifically I had paused communication with my biological mother because I was going through intense therapy as it related to some very specific abuses that I had experienced at the hands of my biological mother and her husband. And stepmom knew this. I was very vulnerable. I was very fragile. I I had a deficiency of needs. I had been living from that deficiency all my life. I was living from a deficiency of a mother, of a loving, caring mother. And stepmother knew that I was going through a situation. She knew I was going through therapy. She knew I was going through healing. She knew that what it was related to. She also knew that I wasn't communicating with my own biological mother at the time. And she came in and told me all this information. She told me also how she had never fell out of love with my father. She had fell in love with him during the affair. Whew, that's tough. She told me how she had never stopped being in love with him all those years. Okay. And she also told me how she felt that I needed to know it wasn't right. It wasn't right. She said it wasn't right. You know, your dad should have told you. And yeah, he should have. But since she knew he hadn't, she should have let him. She didn't. She wanted to appear better than him. She played on my emotions of wanting honesty in the relationship. That conversation should have been had in 2010, not in 2013. But here's where the self-betrayal kicks in. Even though I felt so uneasy inside, and everything in me literally said, run, run. Like I literally wanted to get out of the vehicle and run. And I didn't. I pushed all those feelings down. And I reached for the one feeling that I thought was there, which was motherly love. And in that moment, I betrayed myself. I was scared. And I also thought my dad was happy and I wanted him to be happy. So I'm not going to go say anything. I'm not going to go say like what I'm really feeling. I wanted him to be happy and I wanted to keep what we were developing between me and my stepmom and our family with my dad and stepmom. But all things done in dark eventually come to light. And all of those things came to light for certain when I realized how much she had been lying, manipulating, gaslighting. And I'm very convinced that she knew and still knows what she has done. In any healing journey, it's important to seek the root of every feeling that you feel. And sometimes you have to go to the past to figure it out. A lot of people don't like to discuss what's in the past. And most times it's probably because there's some things there that, we don't want to be accountable for. And I say we because I'm not a perfect person. I was able to be betrayed by another person because I had betrayed myself. Some people's core wounds are self-worth. Maybe they were put down a lot in their life, called bad names, told they were stupid, all kinds of things. And that's awful. Other people's core wounds can be something else. My core wound was literally self-betrayal. If I don't want to experience betrayal anymore from other people, then I must stop betraying myself. If I want to heal and raise my vibrations even higher to unconditional love for myself and all, I must address my core wound. There's a book, and I'm sure a lot of people know this book. It's by Dr. Seuss, called Are You My Mother? When I was a little kid, that was my favorite book. That was my favorite book. It was a book about a little bird that fell out of the nest and went on this journey and came across all these different animals, and each animal that came across that was different than it would go, "Are you my mother?" Because it didn't know who his mother was. Went to the cow, "Are you my mother?" Went to the fish, "Are you my mother?" And I'm probably making up some animals because I don't remember all the animals in the book. But at the end of the story, that little bird eventually found its mother, and its mother embraced the bird, the little birdie, and I believe took it and put it back in the nest, made it safe and sound. I think I like that book because that was what I was always searching for. That mother to provide me that safety and that security within. I thought I had finally found my mother. I read yesterday, let me pull that back up. Give me 1 second. I read yesterday some things about self-betrayal versus self-choosing. And I want to reiterate those. Give me 1 second. Let me pull this back up here. Oh, I can't find it. What did I do with it? Oh, give me 1 moment, guys. I'm so sorry. Okay, give me 1 second, and I'm just going to pull it back up on the computer here. Oh, before I read those signs, I wanted to share another quote that I found about self-betrayal. It says, self-betrayal is allowing fear to overrule the still, small voice of truth. Self-betrayal is allowing fear to overrule the still, small voice of truth. That still, small voice of truth is intuition. Intuition. I allowed fear that day in the car with stepmom to overrule my still, small voice of truth. Give me 1 second, because I just am not able to find what I wanted to share. Give me 1 moment. I should have already had it, but I wasn't expecting to. Oh, it was right there. Okay. I wanted to share again here this part that says self-betrayal versus self-choosing. Self-betrayal says, I stay small, hide my truth, and I people please. And self-choosing says, I work to authentically express, even if it means being misunderstood. And for me, it's not even about being misunderstood. For me, it's the fact that I used to stay small, hide my truth, because after a while of people stifling your voice and stifling your truth, you begin to not want to speak it anymore. You just say, well, fine, whatever. Okay. Let people believe what they want to believe. That's good. Because even at this point in time where I'm speaking my truth, I still have that belief. People can believe what they want to believe, but I need to speak my truth. So I work to authentically express my truth, even if I'm not believed, even if I'm smear campaigned, even if the person never says, you're right, I did it. Even if they never apologize, even if they never hold themselves accountable, I must hold myself accountable for how I treat myself, how I love myself, and how I allow others to treat me. I hope that I've been understood today. I hope I've been understood. There's few people watching. I don't know if they're still there because I can't tell what's going on. It looks like it's a lot of people watching, but then at one point it says the number is different from the people that I see there. So if anybody has any questions, comments, anything, please feel free. Type them out. I'm open. I invite and welcome questions because this is new to me. This is new to speak my truth in this manner. I've told my truth about things that have happened in the past, like my childhood. I've told things that happened in my childhood, but I never really was able to fully embrace my own power and be courageous enough and confident enough to speak my truth in the face of fear. I may have spoken in quiet with, talking with individuals, but never on a platform. So this is new. And even though I'm a lot less nervous than I was last night, I'm still nervous. So if you have any questions, come on and ask. You can leave them in the comments if you like. I do respond. My podcast is also open to others who have a story of truth that they would like to share. And these are for those of us who have experienced abuse trauma. If you wish to share your story, please email me, mytraumahealedlife@gmail.com. You can still send me your questions, comments, anything. You can email me there. I want to encourage each and every person that may see this video that the key to healing, clearing, and transmuting self-betrayal is to speak your truth. Speak up for yourself. Stand up for yourself. Don't just lie down and let anybody just walk all over you with their manipulation and their lies. But when you speak your truth, be sure that you are speaking your truth with the only intention of freeing yourself and loving yourself. Because if you speak your truth with the intention of being believed, you'll be disappointed and you'll stay in that same cycle of betrayal, because you'll be betrayed again when you realize, oh, they didn't believe me. Who cares? Your truth, you know it. You believe yourself, trust in yourself, speak your truth. End self-betrayal. I appreciate everybody that hopped in tonight. I love you guys. To life and to light. Be well. And remember to love yourself. Affirm yourself. Affirm daily this affirmation. I love and accept myself no matter who or what. Peace and blessings. And I'm a new edition, y'all. With my new edition shirt on. I'm a new edition. Yesterday's live set me free. Peace.